Caitlin's kind of blowing them out the water numerically. Numbers-wise, she is clearly head and shoulders above a lot of these other rookies right now. Would you also agree that the statement from a black man, Luka is my master, is weird?
Let Pat McAfee take it away, though.
Get him, Pat. Some people's favorite WWE Raw announcer.
That's disgusting.
Yo, is she what? I don't know. With my eyes, I couldn't see if she's Caucasian or not. So I think what we're trying to say is what the WNBA currently has is what we like to describe as a cash cow. There is a superstar. And we're not saying that the players on the court need to act any differently. That's the athletes are going to do what athletes are going to do in any sport. And I think we're all learning that WNBA, that's old school football, baby. That is old school football. But I would like the media people that continue to say, this rookie class. Nah, just call it for what it is. There's one white for the Indiana team who is a superstar. And is it because she stayed in Iowa, put an entire state on her back, took a program from nothing to a multiple year success story? Is it because she would go on to break the entire points records in the history of the NCAA, not just the women's record by Kelsey Plum, shout out, but also Pistol Pete Maravich's, the dude's record as well? Is there a chance that people just enjoy watching her play basketball because how electrifying she is, what she did, what she stood for, how she went about going, what she went for? Maybe. But instead, we have to hear people say that we only like her because she's white. And she's the only popular because the rest of the rookie class is doing what they're doing. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. And we think the WNBA, more specifically, their refs need to stop trying to screw her over at every single turn. What you have is somebody special. And we're lucky she's here in Indiana. And that was, guess which, WNBA rookie.
Let's go.
I'm going to now, since then, to be fair to him and give full context, he has apologized for his sentiments about what he said. He said, and I quote, I shouldn't have used a white bitch. Shouldn't have used white bitch as a descriptor of Caitlin Clark, no matter the context. Even if we're talking about race being a reason for some of the stuff happening, I have way too much respect for her and women to put that into the universe. My intention when saying it were complimentary, just like the entire segment, but a lot of folks are saying that it certainly wasn't at all. That's 100% on me, and for that, I apologize. I have sent an apology to Caitlin as well. Everything else I said is still all facts.
I'm mad you provided that context, because my first thing, regardless of whether we agree or disagree, was going to be, damn, why she got to be a bitch though? But he's already pretty much doubled back on that, and I think we all know that it wasn't on some hating shit. I see what he's trying to say, and what he's saying ain't even necessarily 1000% wrong. But I don't want it to be at the expense of the remaining rookies in the class, dog. I don't want it in any way, shape, or form, because the WNBA is such a spot right now. I don't want it in any way, shape, or form having a on the rookie class. And that's not technically what he did, but it can be perceived that way. I hope that what I'm saying makes sense. I can see if it doesn't.
I think the take to me may even be a hot take in and of itself. I think it was hot ass, man. I think that take right there, while there's truth to it, I think exemplifies exactly what the rest of the WNBA has a problem with when it comes to the Caitlin Clark discourse, is that while, yes, we can both simultaneously acknowledge that she's been a really big part as to why things are moving the way that they're moving, but to the side of the internet, to the side of the fan base that's giving all the credit to her, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? To say that, the Liberty and the Aces, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, Juju, Paige, all of these players haven't done their part. Again, not the biggest part. You can still credit the majority of the success to Caitlin. But just this taking away the credit from everyone else and just, hey, the reason you're getting paid is because of Caitlin. Period. Period, point blank. Nothing else. That's where I get like where the other side is coming from. But I also see, because in the clip that we were having a discussion on, like, yeah, there is some hatred there. There is some jealousy for Caitlin. And there is a factor of, yeah, fuck you for taking all the credit from us. Like, oh my God, we work hard as well. So
I'm sticking to the clip of Pat McAfee and that only. I don't give a damn what everyone else on Twitter is saying. I'm just sticking to what we just seen from Pat McAfee. Nothing was wrong with what he said. That's how the nigga speaks. I done seen it a million times. Don't he got a daughter? What if it was your daughter? If I was at an AAU game and my daughter is busting ass and I hear some random nigga, hey, that little bitch 42 is cooking. Thank you. Goddamn right. Because I'm not about to dictate how motherfuckers talk. Like, what are we talking about, man? I understand if he was demeaning, disrespecting, belittling. My nigga, that's just how Pat talks. And I get it. A lot of people aren't familiar with Pat McAfee's show. Cool. A lot of y'all have an issue with the bitch word. Whatever. Cool. The nigga wasn't being disrespectful, in my opinion. The nigga wasn't. And again, disrespect is to the interpreter. If you feel calling a woman a bitch in any situation is so fucked up, I guess. The nigga was definitely being complimentary of her. And in the case of what he's talking about, the nigga was right. In terms of the rest of the rookie class, Caitlin, I don't know if you niggas have actually seen what the rest of the rookies are doing so far. Caitlin's kind of blowing them out the waters numerically. Numbers-wise, she is clearly head and shoulders above a lot of these other rookies right now. She is clearly the best rookie, numbers-wise. Hence, she got Rookie of the Month so far in the first month in the WNBA. For rookies, she is definitely the head of the class. For rookies, she is obviously the biggest draw and the biggest star. Not to take that away from Angel Reese and what she's done for the game of basketball. Not to take away from Cameron Brink and what she's done for the game of basketball. But so far, in college, Caitlin Clark was the biggest draw. And so far for these rookies in the W, Caitlin Clark is the biggest draw. And even Caitlin Clark compared to other big-time women's players, Caitlin Clark is still a bigger draw than a lot of these women. I get it. Is it unfair? Is it, oh man, give some credit to the 4-time champ or the 2-time or 3-time MVP? Yeah, give them credit. Cool, give them credit. Y'all can do that. Y'all don't got to shit on Caitlin Clark to do it. We don't got to be mad at Caitlin Clark to give them credit. You can do both. It is very possible for you to be a fan of Caitlin Clark or for you to acknowledge, yeah, she's playing well for a rookie, whatever it is. And then also give Aja Wilson her credit, Breanna Stewart her credit, whoever you want to give, Chelsea Gray, Scooblay her credit. You can do all that. I promise you, you can. It's 100% possible. So I have no issue with what Pat McAfee said at all. As a girl dad, I don't have an issue with Pat McAfee said at all. Just to clarify.
Go ahead, Omar.
Yeah, no, I think that's weird. I think that's weird. I think the sentiment is weird. His statements are weird. All that shit is weird. Football offseason is ramping up tremendously. Trades after trades, signings after signings. Who will win next year? Who will succeed? Well, over at Prize Picks, you can succeed if you play daily fantasy. Let's take a look at Prize Picks. We've got some easy numbers here. We got CJ Stroud, my personal MVP, for 4,000 yards on the season.
you can do the whole season? No, that's crazy.
I'm learning something today, and I'm about to make a 30-minute drive.
And then on the receiving side of things, we've had some moving and we've had some shaking, but I think one of the more guaranteed picks, Moore, for $499.5. Make sure that you place those things early for the football season. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some change on there. I'm a little scary, so I'm going to just put that for the long game right there. And I'm going to hit place entry. And it is just as simple as that on Prize Picks.
And if you use code LKIB, you guys can get a 100% match on your first deposit of up to $100. Links to everything will be in the description down below. And shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring this podcast.
Just because that's how you talk doesn't mean that it's acceptable or that's how you should talk. People shouldn't run around calling each other slurs or saying things that we know are derogatory or disrespectful to people because that's how we talk. That is a senseless and lawless society. Pat McAfee knew he was wrong in the moment. He's on a public platform in which people consume his content that don't know him, and he knows he's going to get clipped out of context. But even if he were to say this in the confines of his home or whatever, what are we understand that bitch isn't a word that is used in this sort of complimentary way between, men or, just different people that don't know each other. That shit is fighting words to people. He don't know Caitlin Clark for real. I know he's in Indiana. I know he's been to the games, et cetera, et cetera. I know he said he texted her, but that could mean DMs. I don't think he know her for real to be calling her a bitch. If Caitlin came out and said, "No, it's cool, Pat, that's my guy. He can call me bitch," maybe it would be different. We would still look at her weird too, but that shit is just weird. You could say that that's Pat McAfee all you want to. That shit is weird when people do it. Yeah, I think it's weird when people use the N-word just haphazardly. I think it's weird when people use the F word or any other racial epithets or any sorts of slurs or derogatory. That was weird, and it was honestly uncalled for. That's why he apologized. It wasn't even necessary. Nigga saying soft. Okay, who are you? It was honestly uncalled for. Truth be told, like literally could have delivered the message without calling her a bitch. That shit was just absolutely weird, and is just a part of the conversation of weirdness that's being had around the WNBA from people who don't necessarily even talk about the WNBA. It would be weird if we started talking about things that we know nothing about, getting into communities that we know nothing about, and in the short 2 months that we've been interested in it, just start calling people bitches and hoes and sluts and niggas and whatever slur that you want to use in this other conversation. That shit is weird, gang. It is what it is.
You're muted.
Muted.
Muted, never the little.
Sorry. Would you also agree that the statement?
Stop.
Hold on. Would you also agree that the statement from a black man, "Luka is my master," is weird?
Yeah, it's weird that I touched that. Yeah.
Okay. I just want, because these is all I ask for. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm asking for is not even consistency. I'm asking, where is your line drawn? Because if someone goes, "SGA is that nigga," is that weird?
If a black person says SGA,
yeah, like SGA's that nigga just cuz type shit. So because like what I'm saying is like maybe the issue with Pat is that he's not a woman. So him saying that bitch is where you drawing the line. I'm literally trying to understand. There's no gotchas being played here. But like it's very popular in it's very popular for women to be like, "Oh, she that bitch." It's insanely popular. We all know that. So when Pat did it, it's like, personally, for me, I value intent, and like I think it's like, damn, bro, did you have to call her a bitch? Now, but I don't think that I would label him like a weirdo.
You still trying to gas
you just
her
said
up.
it was weird. Now, granted, you said it was weird, not Pat McAfee's a weirdo. I don't know if you think Pat McAfee is a weirdo, but for me, I definitely value intent behind it. And yeah, it was 100% just like a gas her up situation for me. So I wouldn't necessarily. I don't know if it was weirdo behavior, but it was definitely weird lingo. And I know that's me.
Would you feel the same way if B-Soul said to you, "Yo, Sage, my nigga," he really be putting it down?
Like, what the hell? I'd be like, what the hell?
Somebody that's not a part of the community that agrees upon saying this word as something complimentary, saying that word. That shit is weird.
So you wouldn't have a problem if a woman said it? Because women say that to each other.
That's their business. I'm not a woman.
But it's the fact that a man said it.
It's the fact that Pat McAfee decided to say it on his public platform, thinking that it was a certain
make
way.
That comment though, because I know that comment is definitely going to get fired on you, gang. So I'm gonna just go ahead and ask it as well before we probably pivot to somebody else's. Do you, just to clarify where you're standing? I'm not trying to PC get you here, gang, but I already know what the comment gonna look like. Do you think that B-Soul is calling me nigga, even in a complimentary way, is in any way, shape, or form the same as Pat McAfee calling Caitlin Clark a bitch in a complimentary way?
No, I don't think that any of these are equivalent. I don't think that the Luka Master Gotcha moment is equivalent. I don't think that the racial component is equivalent. But also, I'm not a woman. I'm a black man.
Type shit.
So if B-Souls were to say that as a black man, I would think that is extremely weird, disrespectful, and there would be different conversations had, as opposed to Pat McAfee saying, "I can only die so much on the sword because I'm not a woman." That's their fight to fight. It's just weird. It's also interesting the people that he had on the background of his picture, his little picture shit. When he had,
I remember what. Yeah, you bring back on the screen.
It was Danielle. It was Breonna Stewart. It was Kelsey Plum, and
Danielle.
The last one. Isn't that her name?
Who's name? So he had Diana Taurasi, he had Sabrina,
Diana.
he had Plum, he had Brianna Stewart. So
Yeah,
you have white players on there.
Yeah, before we completely leave Pat, because I just remember something else I wanted to say. Yeah, Damo, you were like that. Basically, everything he said was right, though, because at the end of the day, Caitlin's the biggest draw. Again, I just want to like harp home maybe my stance, and maybe I'm presenting you a chance to talk more or double down on it. I still don't like how, like, again, yeah, Caitlin is the draw. I don't think anybody here would deny that. Omar had the hot take that Caitlin Clark is the biggest, most influential player since what would you say, Jordan or some shit?
LeBron.
Like LeBron. Yeah, you said since LeBron. So now nobody's denying that. But like the idea that like, and I'm just gonna be casual as fuck. Players like Cameron Brink, for example, shouldn't be mentioned as a star draft class, which is directly what he said. I think two wrongs don't make a right there. I think people do need to get off of Caitlin Dick, but I also don't think that it should be at the expense of hyping up a very, very, very polarizing WNBA draft.